Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Lifestyle PA, where we break down the science of women's health and turn it into real life strategies for energy, strength, and confidence after 35. I'm your host, Beth Ricka, physician assistant, registered dietitian, and lifestyle medicine expert. And today we're talking about something I see with nearly every woman I work with, even the ones doing everything right: eating clean, exercising, trying to get enough sleep, maybe even tracking their macros, yet the weight won't budge. The missing piece? Stress. Let's break down why stress management is not a luxury. It's a metabolic requirement for women, especially in midlife. I'll walk you through the science of how stress impacts your hormones, appetite, and fat storage, and I'll leave you with a real, reasonable tool that you can start using today. Welcome to the Lifestyle PA podcast, where we talk about all things women's health and lifestyle to help you become the healthiest and happiest version of yourself. Okay, so let's start with what's actually happening in your body when you're stressed. When your brain senses a threat, whether it's a real emergency or just an overflowing inbox, it signals the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal, otherwise known as your HPA axis, to release cortisol and adrenaline. This is your body's fight or flight system. In the short term, this response is actually helpful. It gives you energy, focus, and blood sugar to survive a challenge. It's doing what your body was designed to do. But when this system is activated all the time by chronic, low-grade stress like work pressure, parenting, financial worries, inflammation, undereating, or overexercising, your body then stays in survival mode. Here's what that does to your weight. Let's break it down physiologically. So first, cortisol increases your blood sugar. It raises your blood glucose to provide energy for a perceived threat. But in our modern world, we're not out here fighting tigers, right? We're sitting at desks. This excess glucose then gets stored as fat, especially in the abdominal area, which is hormonally active and pro-inflammatory. So then our insulin resistance increases. Repeated cortisol spikes can make your cells less responsive to insulin. So what does this mean? What is the result? So then we see higher blood sugars, more fat storage, more hunger and cravings. You may feel like you're almost addicted to carbs, but this is your body trying to self-regulate energy. Stress also lowers thyroid function. So chronic stress suppresses T3, which is your active thyroid hormone. That means slower metabolism, fatigue, and difficulty losing weight, no matter how healthy you eat. Also, stress disrupts estrogen, progesterone, and leptin. High cortisol steals from progesterone, worsening PMS and perimenopause symptoms. It disrupts leptin, which is your satiety hormone. So this then makes you feel hungrier. It also interferes with estrogen clearance, which can worsen estrogen dominance symptoms like bloating, weight gain, and mood swings. Stress truly touches every metabolic pathway. So some hidden stressors that may be sabotaging you. So here's the kicker. Stress just isn't emotional. It's also physical and environmental. So some common hidden stressors that I often see in high achieving women include overexercising, so especially intense HIIT daily, undereating, or especially undereating protein, inconsistent sleep schedules, gut inflammation or infections, everything stems from our gut, blood sugar crashes, poor boundaries, and people pleasing. So much of this. Noise, notifications, constant stimulation. Even trying too hard to be healthy can become a stressor. So this is what I always say. You cannot out diet or out exercise chronic stress. So, how do we know if stress is affecting your weight? Some signs that stress may be interfering with your results are if you're gaining or holding weight despite doing all the right things, you feel tired but wired, especially at night, you wake up between 2 and 4 a.m. regularly, you have constant cravings, especially sugar or salt, you feel anxious, overwhelmed, or on edge more often than not, your cycle is irregular, painful, or heavy, you feel inflamed, bloated, puffy, you're constantly bloated or constipated, and your resting heart rate, or if your heart rate variability, if you're active and that's something you monitor, is off. That's a sign. So if you're checking several of these boxes, stress might be the real roadblock here between you and your results. So, what are some actionable, science backed ways to lower stress? So, let's talk about what you can do. And these are not all about bubble baths or week-long vacations. These are small, doable, evidence backed shifts that lower cortisol and support your metabolism. So, first and foremost, you need to regulate your nervous system on a daily basis. And this is a skill that needs to be practiced. So, think of deep box breathing or that 4-7-8 breathing, humming, cold splashes, 5-minute walk without your phone, even 2 to 5 minutes of downshifting a few times a day to help you build stress resilience. Studies show that 10 minutes of slow breathing significantly reduces cortisol levels. If 10 minutes is too hard for you or just too much right now, start with 2. Work up to 5, then work up to 7. It's a skill that has to be practiced. Second, balance your blood sugar. Protein, fiber, healthy fat at every meal. No skipping meals, especially not breakfast. Things like cinnamon, chromium, and magnesium can support and stabilize glucose. Always keep in mind a stable blood sugar equals stable mood and less cortisol output. Third, smart movement. Walk daily. It's something that anyone and everyone can do. If you can, strength train 2 to 3 times a week. Avoid daily HIIT workouts or fasted workouts if you're already feeling run down. Again, the goal is targeted, stimulated workouts, not workout till you're overly depleted. 4, support your circadian rhythm. Get that morning sunlight in your eyes. Absolutely no screens 1 hour before bed. Ideally 2. Let's start with 1 hour. Magnesium glycinate or ashwagandha, if it's appropriate, after you speak with your healthcare provider in the evening. A healthy cortisol rhythm supports weight loss, energy, and sleep. Number 5, mindset and boundaries. I cannot stress this enough. Practice saying no. Schedule rest like you would schedule a doctor's appointment or a meeting at work. You wouldn't be late to that or miss it. Make your rest a priority. Use affirmations like, quote unquote, rest is productive, or I'm choosing calm over chaos. Stress is not always about what you're doing. It's about what you're telling yourself about what you're doing. So let that sink in for a minute, because mindset perspective is so incredibly powerful. So if you've been trying everything, eating clean, moving your body, tracking your meals, but you're still feeling stuck, it's not your fault and it's not a matter of willpower. For women over 35, stress is often the biggest hormonal disruptor standing between you and your goals. Your nervous system has to feel safe in order to release weight, balance hormones, and function optimally. The good news is you don't need to completely overhaul your life. Small, consistent shifts paired with awareness and personalized support makes a massive difference over time. So if this episode resonated at all, Share it with a friend who's running on empty. And if you're ready to start truly supporting your metabolism in midlife, send me a message. I would love to help you. As always, thank you so much for listening to the Lifestyle PA, where science meets real life for women who want to feel lean, strong, and well in their 30s, 40s, and beyond. So just remember, take a breath. You've got this. Thanks so much for listening to the Lifestyle PA. I hope you're leaving today's episode feeling empowered and supported on your health journey. If you're ready to take the next step and make real, lasting changes, I would love to invite you to join my 3-month lifestyle program. It's designed specifically for women navigating this season of hormonal and metabolic changes, focused on personalized, sustainable nutrition, movement, sleep, stress, and mindset. Head to thelifestylepa.org or message me on Instagram at _lifestyle_PA to learn more and reserve your spot. And remember, it's the small steps that lead to the big changes. So start with one today.